Hello and welcome to a brand new video as part of this new series that I'm going to be doing on the countdown to the Formula One season that begins on the 24th of March. This is the first of 5 podcasts that I'm going to be, vlog podcast style videos is how I'm going to frame it, to be basically looking at the direction of Formula One, previewing the 2017 Formula One season and any changes that I think may benefit Formula One in general. And just before we start this video and kind of start this series, which today I'm going to be looking at the structure of Formula One, some of the propositions already made by Liberty Media, and the direction for the future in terms of trialling and testing things for Formula One. Before I get into all that, please bear in mind that this is my opinion, and please don't completely destroy me in the comments if you disagree. I don't mind you disagreeing with my opinions and saying it's wrong if I think about it and think, yeah, that probably is not such a good idea. I would agree. But as I say, it is my idea. These are my thoughts and opinions. So, first of all, let's quickly talk about Liberty Media's strategy for social media. This is a brilliant idea, quite frankly. This is brilliant for the future of Formula One. This is engaging with the fans. This is engaging with the public more broadly. As before, it was just the TV licensing companies who could do features like with Daniel Ricciardo, Lewis Hamilton, kind of off the track and doing those kind of things. But now the teams can upload more freely what the fans want to see, which is the drivers outside of the race car, of course. So this is brilliant. This is engaging with the fans more readily, and already that is having an impact. Now, away from that, the second proposition that Liberty has made, coming directly from the mouth of Ross Brawn, is saying the reintroduction of non-championship races. This is quite a radical move, but one I fully approve of, because this allows the FIA, the FOM, the GPDA, as well as things like the fan forum, to make suggestions and then for them to be put into action at a non-championship race without it having an impact on the Formula One Championship. Like we saw last year with the qualifying format. That was crap and it had an impact on the championship. Probably not that much, but it did have an impact because it made the show, the show crap on Saturday, and what should have been a really exciting, really tense start to the season. People were like, oh, there's new qualifying as well, and the qualifying was awful, which kind of actually had a bit of a downer on it, to be brutally honest. So in order to prevent those kind of things happening in the future, I think to have a non-championship race where you can try these things might be a good idea. So this is my proposition for things that could be tried in a non-championship race. This is something that people keep on spanging on about, and I've come up with a solution of the fact that not enough young drivers get their shot at Formula One. My proposition is you make a Rookies Cup within Formula One. Have 10 drivers as voted by fans, journalists, drivers, and team members, as well as approved all drivers approved by licensing of the FIA, so long as they comply to be able to enter into Formula One. However, this Rookies Cup, it must be stressed, is a Rookies Cup and independent in terms of the class for Formula One. So say for example, we have Pierre Gasly in this FIA Mule car and he finishes 8th, and behind him in 9th position is, I don't know, Carlos Sainz. Carlos Sainz will still get the points for 8th even though Pierre Gasly is ahead, for instance. I think that's a great idea, and this will be made up of 10 drivers, which will compensate, obviously more than compensate, for the lack of drivers in Formula 1 at the moment. So we currently have 20 plus 10, that's 30. absolutely fabulous. You know, brilliant stuff, and I think this can really revolutionise Formula One in its integrity, to be brutally honest. So yeah. That's my first proposition. My second proposition is for Friday to be a fans day, where basically we have things like a e-race, well a virtual reality race for Formula One. We have more fan interaction where you can meet the driver, have a talk, an autograph session, that kind of thing. And sessions that the drivers have are longer. With Thursday still being the press day, Friday is now the fans day, and also stuff like having bus trips around the track, and getting the Formula One drivers to take you out on the track in a supercar, for instance. And also what this can do, you have those fan things on the track in the morning. Then in the afternoon, you have prominence given to the feeder categories like GP2 and GP3. So the fans go for the day, their fan day, and then they see GP2 and GP3 in the afternoon. You know, that's just brilliant in my eyes because it's given prominence to the future of Formula One. And obviously, whenever you go to a track, you know, it's GP2, I'll go and get a sandwich. You know, but the fact that this is given the prominence for the whole day is very crucial. You know, that's obviously the on-track action. The off-track, you know, it's giving the fans more interaction with the drivers, which is obviously just brilliant for Formula One. Then on the Saturday, we slightly revised qualifying. I'm proposing a MotoGP style qualifying system, but there's only one practice session. That is the crux of it. There's only one practice session. So the teams are limited on data, they're limited on miles, they have to do qualifying simulation, race simulation, they have to practice starts, they have to do install laps, they have to make sure everything runs well, and they have to have a good session. If they have a gearbox problem, they are pretty screwed. So, you know, and for those kind of instances, obviously, if you don't know the MotoGP star qualifying system, the top 12, I think it is, top 10, top 12 go into Q2, whereas the bottom half go into Q1. It will be the same. So for my proposed grid of 30 drivers, we will have about 15 going in straight into Q2, and then 15, obviously, the other 15 into the qualifying one system, and then the top 2, they then go through into Q2, making up 17 drivers. The first session, the Q1 session, proposed to be 8 minutes long to increase the pressure if you've done a bit of a bad job in practice. Then the second session, that will be 12 minutes because that's when the most drivers are on the track, and then the final session will be 10 minutes. A Q3 session limiting from 17 drivers down to 10. And the fight for pole, and the pole position man will get a point. Then the race, I'm opening up all compounds of tyres to the drivers. This is what I'm proposing to do. They can use ultra softs to the hard tyres at any given weekend. But obviously safety concerns could potentially mean that Pirelli impose a mandatory tyre, so, as we saw at some tracks last year, like Canada, the soft tyres, although I didn't really see why that was needed, to be brutally honest. So if we go to places like Bahrain, Spa, Silverstone, places like that, they can make the medium tyre like mandatory or something, just to make sure that everyone's running safely and not going like ultra super, and then their tyres let go and then they blame the FIA. And then they blame Pirelli. So they just need to. So long as that's covered, I don't see any reason why they can't just open up the complete tyre range, with still the rule of using 2 compounds. But for the start of the race, what I'd say is that anyone can choose any compound of tyre. You don't have to use the one you qualified on Q2. Personally, I think that's a bit of a daft rule. It means that you're kind of juggling a bit, and people are trying to be a bit too clever if they can try and get away with it. The drivers aren't pushing 100% for all parts of the qualifying, which is what it should be, in my opinion. And also, my other proposals for the race is standing starts at safety cars. That's a bit controversial, obviously. So, again, don't kill me for that. But I think that could be a bit tense, you know, having some standing starts mid-race and just mix up the order a bit and just get the drivers a bit more racy towards the end of the race. And after the race, 2 podiums, obviously, the Rookie Cup podium and the overall Formula 1 podium. I have one more proposition for the Monaco Grand Prix. I watched my first NASCAR race yesterday, and it was fantastic. You know, it was okay. You know, I do prefer a bit of Formula 3 racing. You know, kind of. No, I obviously prefer Formula 1 to NASCAR, but it gave me an idea because obviously they have the first phase, the second phase, and then they have the overall race result. It got me thinking, for Monaco, as Monaco is meant to be the jewel in the Formula 1 crown, it's meant to be a little more special. Why not have Monaco an endurance race and split up and having sub-races within the race? So say you double the race distance for Monaco to 156 laps, and then you have the 25 points for the win, and so on at the end. But within that, you then have 4 sub-races, and after 39 laps, you then bunch everyone up, and you have another standing start. And you do the same time, and you do the same 4 times over, and an additional 25 points is distributed throughout the 4 races for the sub-races. So I believe it would be 7.75 points for the win. Don't quote me on that though. So, and then you'd have to tactically decide when you were going to stop and on which race you were going to sacrifice and use as your pit race. So, a lot more strategic stuff, and it would make it a hell of a lot interesting, especially if it was raining and dry between races. It would be very interesting, actually. But obviously, let me know what you think of my suggestions. As I said at the start, and as I said kind of throughout, these are my suggestions, so please don't kill me. But Formula 1 is not far away, and just before I go, I do apologise for the lack of uploads last week, as I was a bit of an idiot and forgot my laptop when I went home. So, do apologise that I didn't do the McLaren, the Ferrari, the Red Bull, the Toro Rosso and the Haas. Pre-season testing, just thoughts on that. Mercedes looking very, very strong, although I'd put Ferrari slightly ahead at the moment. But that's probably me just being a bit hopeful, whereas as a McLaren fan, it's been a week to forget, so hopefully they can have a stronger week in Test 2. On Friday, I'll be doing a Test 2 review, but in regards to these, another one should be out midweek. As I say, I'm going to do 5. The next one is going to be on teams and drivers for this season and getting more young guns into Formula 1. I've kind of outlined that plan here, so yeah, see how that goes, and have a great day, and I will see you later. Goodbye.